Hello, everybody. So I found that through my experimentation um, last week, actually, let me pull this a little bit closer so that I can tilt this away from my messy bed. Didn't realize that that was in frame. Hello, everybody. Um, so, from experimenting last week, I realized that that was actually better for the audio if I jump in here before I play the intro video. That way, the audio syncs up and everything's hunky dory. So, let's see, what do I have here? I created a couple of different intros and I found like a be right back video, starting soon video. So but let's just not get too fancy and just play the intro. So tonight we are doing a basically an introduction to this concept that actually a guest of a regular guest of the live stream, who is also my mentee, Sophia, aka Benevolent Corvus, suggested that we do a deep dive, the both of us, on the same deck. So I'm very excited, very excited about this concept. And actually, Sophia will be here in a little while after the astro weather, so that we can explain kind of like what we've been planning behind the scenes. So I think it's very exciting, but let's get into the intro first. Hold on. There's so many things though. I have so many things up on my screen. Let me hide that first. Let me do this. Let me do this the correct way. All right. All right, so hopefully the audio is pretty good and synced up now that I figured that out. You know, it only took me about 3.5 years to figure out how to seamlessly do some of these um, live streaming things. So, yes, our episode tonight is going to be really fun, really interesting. And thank you for your patience, because I didn't know what the episode was going to be about tonight. I had some idea, some inkling that it was going to be about the deep dives that we have coming up, but I wasn't for sure until this afternoon. So there you go. So I see that Katie is here. Hello to Katie. Jenny is here. Hello to Jenny. And Liz is here. Hold on. There we go. Liz is here. So hello to Liz. Welcome to the broadcast. So hello, I'm Hilary, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. So if you're not familiar with the live stream, we have a couple of pillars of the weekly live stream that we do. We have the astro weather at the top of the episode. We have the mid-episode reading in the middle of the episode, and then of course we have the weekend forecast at the end of the episode. And in the middle of the episode is actually the meat of the episode, which is about whatever topic it is that I'm teaching about, whatever I'm talking about this particular week. And so behind the scenes, Sophia and I have been talking, and we were comparing our tarot deck collection. Now, just because you don't think that you're not a real reader just because you have maybe one deck or one or two decks. I know it can be very, I don't know, pressure filled to feel like, oh, I have to get every deck out on the market, or else I'm not a real tarot reader or a real tarot connoisseur or appreciator or whatever. And that's simply not true. And I know of many professional readers or not professional readers that have one deck or two decks, and they're quite content with that. Now, unfortunately, I am a little bit of a tarot deck or divination magpie. So I enjoy collecting tarot decks, and I also enjoy using those tarot decks with my clients. So And I have found it to be very interesting, um, when a client picks a tarot deck and then the symbology in that deck that deviates from maybe a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, that particular symbol may not appear in a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but it's very potent and meaningful for the client in that reading at that particular time. So I find that to be fascinating and really interesting. And so, to my mind, I like to have a variety of different decks, to be able to facilitate that kind of experience for a client. Not to mention the fact that it's just like we have so many wonderful deck creators now, and there is such a variety of decks. There's such diversity in decks, which is wonderful to see, because if you can't see your life in a tarot deck, if you can't see your particular skin color in a tarot deck, if you can't see your particular gender representation or sexuality represented in a tarot deck, then it's probably going to be a pretty shitty reading because it's hard to be able to see your life in these cards if the cards aren't really speaking to you in visuals that you understand and can relate to. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope it does. Fran is also here. Hello, Fran. Welcome, welcome. So, Sophia and I behind the scenes were comparing our different tarot decks that we have. And I actually have an entire list of the tarot decks and oracle decks and Lenormand decks that I own up on my website. Again, tarotbyhilary.com if you want to take a look there. There is a search bar on the side navigation, so you can search tarot deck library. You'll be able to find that article right away. And I really do have to update it. I do have to update it. So we were comparing and contrasting, like, which decks do we have, which decks don't we have, and we were talking about the work of Robert M. Place. So that's a little bit of a preview for tonight's episode, and that is going to be our first selection for a tarot deck deep dive, is the Alchemical Tarot by Robert M. Place. So we'll talk about it in the meat of this episode when I bring Sophia on. But like, I would welcome people to, if you own that particular deck, the Alchemical Tarot, I would welcome people to join in with us for that exploration. So I think that's going to be happening over the month of March, but again, we'll have more information as we talk about it in this episode. So Liz is saying, I always liked the Dragon Tarot. That's funny that you mentioned that, Liz, because my ex loved the Dragon Tarot. My ex was also a tarot reader. And that was his main go-to deck. In fact, a couple of my exes read tarot cards. And this is long before I started reading tarot professionally. But his choice of tarot deck happened to be the Dragon Tarot. It's a beautiful deck. Don't get me wrong. I don't happen to own it, but just because of the association between, like X and that tarot deck, it hasn't completely ruined me for that deck, but I just don't happen to own the Dragon Tarot. But it's a good deck. It's a good deck. So like I was saying before, we have 3 pillars of the episode. And so let's start with the first pillar of the episode, which is the astro-weather. Now, I am not an astrologer. I know just enough astrology to be dangerous. But my business mentor of many, many years, the tarot lady, she is an astrologer as well as a wonderful tarot reader. And she has a thing called the AstroBiz Digest, which is a year-long subscription. It's $99 for the year, and you get all of the astrology you can ever ask for in layman's terms in your email inbox every week. So you'll get like a monthly summary, and then you'll also get weekly summaries of like what's going on astrologically. Now, it is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I found it to be incredibly helpful in my personal life as well. So I usually give the astro weather for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I will talk about like the general transits that are going on during the week, but I get into the specifics from the AstroBiz Digest for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday pretty much much alone so that I can wet your whistle for it. So if it's interesting to you and you like what you're hearing, you can go ahead and get a copy of the AstroBiz Digest for yourself, because I want to be able to support Teresa in that way by highlighting her work, but not giving away her work. So let me go ahead and display that on the screen so you can check that out. And that way you can have the link to go and get the AstroBiz Digest for yourself if you would so choose to. But I would ask you to wait until the end of the episode before clicking away. So let me see, where is it? My referrals. Yes, yes, yes. Got a lot of stuff going on in here. Oh my God. I have so many things in my staging area that like now I'm starting to regret it a little bit. So actually let me take away that and that, because I don't technically need that right now. But yeah, here's the AstroBiz Digest. So that's the AstroBiz Digest logo. It is $99 for a year-long subscription, but I'm telling you, that is such a great price for what you get. And the fact that you get it in layman's terms, yes, you get the astrology and you get all the astrological jargon, but she also will tell you in layman's terms like what that means, which is so, so helpful. So, and I'll go ahead and share that on screen. So it's just the tarotlady.com/AstroBiz Digest to get a copy of your own, but I would ask you not to click away quite yet. Yeah, I mean, Fran, if you're an astrologer, Fran says it sounds like the inside of my head all the time. Yeah, probably. Probably. I know that astrologers think differently than other people. I also know that tarot readers think differently than other people, where we'll have our own like astrological shorthand or tarot shorthand. Like, oh, it was a 3 of Swords kind of day. Like, I'm sure astrologers think in the exact same way or have conversations in that exact same way. So let me see. I can put it up this way. That works. That's nice. That way you can see everything, right? Cool, cool. Okay, so are we ready to get started with the AstroBiz Digest? Give me a hell yeah in the chat. Let me know. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. And I'm getting distracted by my Duolingo alerts because I've been doing Duolingo for Spanish for the last 45 days, I think. Not that I didn't know Spanish before doing Duolingo, but I took 6 years of Spanish. So I'm like trying to beef up my chops with using Duolingo for Spanish. All right, where is my AstroBiz Digest? Where is it? Hello. Aha. Okay, weekly forecast, February 20th to the 26th. That is that week. Yes. That is this week. Yes. So Sophia is here. She's here. She is here. I'm going to bring her in after the AstroBiz Digest. Hello, friends. I'm just here. Every day I'm shuffling, right, Sophia? So we're ready. We're ready for the astrology. Okay, cool. And let me just hydrate myself, though, first. And if you'll notice, I kind of like sorted things out in my background. So I've got my tapping, my EFT tapping certification back here. And then on the other side, you can't see it right now because the AstroBiz Digest is blocking it out, but I have my book, How to Read Tarot, which I was just citing the other day because I walked into my mom's house last night and there were 3 copies of it on her coffee table. And I'm just like, what are 3 copies of my book doing here? And she was just like, oh no, I need you to sign up for this person and this person and this. And I'm just like, you want me to do this right now? Just like, could you like let me know? Like, I'm not in the headspace right now to do personalized messages for 3 of our family friends. Like, I thought we were going to go over paperwork and then go out to dinner. But it's very odd seeing my my book out in the world, and it feels like there's a part of me that's like walking around. It's strange. It's a strange feeling. Anyway, okay. So, transits for this week. So Monday had two crucial things going on. First, the new moon at 2:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a hell creative lunation, so if you're up at that time, let your muses do the talking. It's also excellent timing for setting intentions around creativity, imagination, empathy, and healing. And then there's a recommendation again for New Moon Astrology by Jan Spiller. And I believe that Monday's new moon was in Pisces, if I'm remembering correctly. Then at 2:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Venus rushed into Aries, igniting passions for a few weeks. People want to be wowed. So make sure your PR campaigns are fired up and exciting. Boldness will pay off, so don't be shy with your approach. Take creative risks, and you can see a whole bunch of new eyes on your work. Make sure you keep an eye on business expenses and guard against impulse. Venus heads into Taurus on March 16th. So, those are the two main transits that happened this week. So, Friday, today, February 24th, La Luna enters Taurus, which means the public is in the mood to spend. Make sure you have your marketing automated and tight for the next 2 days so you can catch those sales. This lunation is also excellent for handling financial situations, beautifying your surroundings, or investing in your business. Express your creative side with imaginative PR when the moon sextiles the sun at 2:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bonus, make it entertaining and beautiful. The rest of the day is easy peasy and full of cash attraction possibilities. Yay. So today, Friday, February 24th, is a power day for Taurus and a weak day for Scorpio. So any questions? Okay. So Saturday finds the moon conjunct Uranus at 7:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a nifty slot for social media marketing. A live stream or clever meme could attract more sales. Unfortunately, the evening is a sucky one once the moon squares Mercury at 7:16 p.m. One wrong word and you're toast. Better close up shop and chill out instead. Sunday puts Gemini into the game when the moon moves into the sign of the twins at 10:48 a.m. It's your best lunar buddy for writing, communicating, and emptying the inbox. Not in the mood? Read a book and feed your head instead. So Saturday is a power day for Taurus and a weak day for Scorpio, just like Friday. And Sunday is a power day for Gemini and a weak day for Sagittarius. So actually, that's like pretty one of the quicker Astrobiz Digest astro weathers we've ever done. Not too much going on. So I would open up the floor to any requests in the comments for if you wanted to know the astrology a little bit for Tuesday, like, oh, Hilary, Tuesday was a little bit weird or headachy, or Thursday was, I'm not sure what it was, whether it was like people were in a bad mood or things were smooth sailing, but I kind of want to know, was there an astrological reason why? So I'll open up the floor for that before we move into the main point of tonight's episode, which is talking about the tarot deep dives. And I'm going to have more water. And if you see any solicitation going on in the Book of Face or the Tube of You, please go ahead and ignore it, or, block that person or report that person. We do have our trusty moderator in the house too. And also, I'm going to open up the floor to this. If you're a regular viewer and you want to be a moderator for the live stream, the weekly live stream, go ahead and send me a message and let me know. And I'll talk to you about it. And if you're up for it, we'll discuss, because we've been having a lot of problems with that lately, and I'm not the only live streamer that has had a lot of problems with that lately. So, I'm not too proud to beg for, moderation help, basically. It's just icky, you know? It's icky, it's unnecessary, it's strange. Let me adjust my chair and lean back a little bit. Let me see if I can actually do something about that too. Because I'm my own moderator. I'm my own moderator. What? You summoned one, Sophia? Or I summoned you. Because I'm only mentioning it. I was only mentioning it because it was happening. So I'm never going to feature those comments on screen. It's just not my thing. And also, it's just like, that's what they want. They want the attention, you know? Anyway, so tonight's episode, and by the way, if you see that little scrolling bar, stay tuned to be considered for a live reading. That is our mid-episode reading. So I'll give you instructions at that time. We usually do like a keyword to be entered to win the mid-episode reading, but there is a new widget on Be Live, which is my third-party streaming streaming program, basically. What's making it possible for me to show, my lower third and all of this kind of stuff and put things on the screen. There's a new widget, and the widget is like a lottery jar or something like that. Let me see. Yeah, it's called a lottery jar. It's in beta right now. So I might be able to test it out, and we might be able to use that to pull the winner for the mid-episode reading. Now, up until now, I've been using a picker wheel or the wheel of names. But hey, if there is a widget in here that I can use to select a winner, like, by all means. By the way, I haven't been using the comment snake, so let me put up the comment snake. There we go. All right. So are we ready to yeah, I know. Liz is saying, ooh, fun. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So are we ready to bring Sophia on and talk about the little bit of the deep dive? Because it's mostly her idea. And I feel like she was doing some of that with the Marseille challenge that she was doing. But I was just like, I really like that. I like that concept of doing a deep dive, because it's a little bit different than what I do for, my deck of the month and my card of the day pulls from my deck of the month to like get to know a deck. This, I think, is a little bit different. So and we'll keep an eye out on the spammers or the scammers or whatever. Like Sophia's working extra hard today. All right, let me wait for everything to propagate. Sophia, are you ready? Oh, we got a chant going on in the chat here. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, we've got the love going for Sophia already. Katie's saying, woo, Sophia.
My background is not big enough. Tuck it over there.
It's fine. It's fine. It's pretty.
I also did
it's
not
nice.
Steam it because I forgot. So you guys are getting me not in pajamas, but with a very wrinkly background.
That's what's real, you know? That's what's real. And Jenny
It's
is
a
also saying, Sophia, yay.
it's a step up from my bed, which we'll take it for what it is.
Yeah, that's what I had to do before. I had to like move my desk closer. Because I was just like, oh, look at my pillow. Okay. No one wants to see that. All right, let's see.
I need a bigger
Friends,
shower curtain.
yeah, Fran says that's always the way it happens. Yeah, exactly. And that's, most people are just like, they enjoy the real, they enjoy the authentic.
Yeah.
Like clearly this is the reason why I like the live stream, because it's just like you can't make that up. Anyway, let us put up the new overlay
Yes. And I'm going to shuffle
that I
myself
made.
sideways because I'm right in the center of that halo and I look very biblical.
By all means. Yes, pretty back. See, Katie likes it. Pretty background. Exactly. Pretty background. So Sophia, explain to the listeners a little bit about your idea for a deep dive.
So this is my plan. So
Okay.
we're working on Robert M. Place's Alchemical Tarot, which is a super beautiful deck. And I picked this one up while I was in London over the summer. So I traveled all the way from New York, where Robert M. Place is based, to London to pick up a deck that's printed here. So
Like you
as you
do.
do, as you do. And it was cheaper because it was on sale there. So it works out in my favor. And so it's a beautiful deck, and this is the plan. So, like I did the Marseille challenge, we'll do 3 cards a day. And if you have the deck or have any other deck and would like to join in with this process, it can be copy pasted to anything else that you have. So we'll pull 3 cards. 1 card, this is the twist, is going to be pulled intentionally out of the major arcana. So say, for example, you have a situation where you know the answer to the question, but you want to reaffirm your intuition. So you would pull out your high priestess or you would pull out your hierophant. Either one, whichever is more appropriate to your situation. I have the hierophant handy, so we'll use that for illustration purposes. So that's your card. So that's your center card. And then you're going to pull 2 other cards for the left and the right, and that will inform your reading. Then, if you're working with Alchemical Tarot, you can either use the little booklet, or if you're a big old nerd like I am and you have Robert M. Place's Behemoth, then what you would do is you would look at the passage just for your center card, and then go based on your intuition or any of the meanings that you're more familiar with for your other 2 cards. If you really are feeling out to sea, you can read more if you feel comfortable. Or if you just feel like reading all of it, all the power to you. It's the level of investment that makes most sense for you. And so that's my plan.
So like, for example, like here's one that I had closest to hand. I had the Emperor card. And the Emperor card to me really represents like when I want to like understand my business a little bit better, or like understand like how I'm leading or how I'm showing up in the world or what have you. The Emperor card happens to be one of my birth cards too. So I pulled that, and then I would just shuffle and I would put 1 card to the left, 1 card to the right, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So like, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to do
Or
it
you
right
can make
now.
a fancy triangle, whatever photographs the best.
Right. Sure, that too. So Fran mentioned, I love the reel. The pet that has ignored you all day, all of a sudden wants all the love. Yes, that too. Or the one that like there's a really cute corgi that I follow on the internet, and I think it's Dash the corgi, and he just like throws up his stuffed toys like anytime his parents are on like Zoom meetings. It's like the cutest thing ever, but it's like he usually doesn't act up until exactly when they're on a meeting and they need him to be quiet.
My cat does the same thing, but it's quite the opposite. My students are obsessed with him, and they want to see Captain Stinky, but the captain is never present when you want him to be. So
his name is Captain Stinky.
that's one of his many names. He goes his legal name is Kitty, because we weren't planning on keeping him, and then we of course did. because he's now 13. And so that's the situation with him. And so he goes by Captain Stinky or Little Lord Stinkleroy or the Princeling. Typical cat.
Of course, of course. We also have another spammer in the comments, so please ignore, they're doing the same thing that the other one was doing.
I think I can go into my other screen and I should be able to handle that. Unless they're...
It's always when we bring Sophia on for live stream purposes that then she has to pull double duty as a moderator and also a guest.
It's they're purposely choosing all of the comments where it is above where I switched to my computer. So I can't see them. So I have to go into the notification and then they should be gone.
Okay. Good. Thank you. But if we have that continuing to happen, just please ignore, and thank you for your patience because it's not me. I'm not targeting you, and I would never do this to another tarot streamer. It's just gross. So interestingly enough, the cards that I pulled around the Emperor were both wands. The 8 of Wands and the 3 of Wands. And I don't know what the Emperor is, but this Emperor is very naked.
Yes.
He naked. So
he's confident. He's very confident.
Very confident, yeah. So, but then having the 8 of Wands coming up, and having it be hard work. It's a different kind of vibe than the 8 wands on a plain background flying through the air. So this is this I would associate with hard work, and know that you've worked hard, or know that you have that, your experience is based on something that is rooted in your hard work and your passion. So go with that, that's how you can be a little bit stronger in your business. That would be my interpretation anyway. And then I have the 3 of Wands, which typically has that in the horizon kind of thing. And that would be dream bigger. You have bigger dreams because you're capable of them. So that would be my reading, as an example of what I would do for the deep dive. So,
and that makes sense with the brick too. That makes sense based on the brick as well. Because the Emperor in this deck is supposed to be the dissolution of the feminine energy that started in the High Priestess. So we have that expansion going on.
Interesting. So it goes with the expansion energy. Very cool. Very cool. So I think what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to end up doing, instead of doing, because then this would be a lot of card pulls for me to do, instead of doing my 1 card pull of the day, I'm going to be doing this deep dive for my card of the day. So it's going to be a reading like this that I'm going to post on social media every single day. So instead of seeing 1 card, you're going to see 3 cards out of the Alchemical Tarot.
So to answer Fran, it is not called the brick. It just could be, it could function as one. It's actually a very wordy title. It's the Tarot, Magic, Alchemy, Hermeticism, and Neoplatonism. And I have the 3rd edition.
Yes. So thank you for bringing up another thing that I wanted to address, which is, we have it's the same deck. But I also pulled up this article from Robert M. Place about the 6 editions of the Alchemical Tarot, because there are 6 editions. Now, when I purchased it, I think, directly from him, and it was the 4th edition that had come out at the time that I got it. And Sophia, I believe you have the 6th edition.
Yes, I have the most recent one.
So let me share that. So I have the article here, and it talks about the 6 editions of the Alchemical Tarot and probably the similarities and the differences. But that's also another reason why we chose to do a deep dive using the same or similar deck, so that we could kind of show the similarities and the differences between the editions. And I'm going to go ahead and display that.
Perfect.
That link.
There we go.
Because the article, like the URL is the 4 editions of the Alchemical Tarot, but it's actually 6 editions, and he probably just edited and updated that particular page.
Yes, which is why, like Hilary keeps telling me for my newsletters, you always update the HTML text.
Yes.
Before you send it.
Right, like the the URL, like check on it or try and use a URL that's more I don't know, evergreen, shall I say? Because otherwise then you get broken links. And that happened with my blog, actually. Like I had changed around, I had updated my blog, or I think it was updating of my website resulted in updating of my blog. And so my blog used to be, it used to include the dates, and now it doesn't anymore, thankfully. But like now all of the links that I had before are broken. So I can figure it out. And it's just like, if you want to get back to that particular blog post, just take out the date and then use the rest of it, and it should work. And if it doesn't, just use the search feature. But yeah. It's just like, just learn from my mistakes, basically.
So should we dive into the cards? What makes most sense in terms of the next?
Yeah. I mean, like, is there any questions, first of all, from the Peanut Gallery before we like do the deep dive into it? Because I wanted to kind of like look at that article that I shared. We're not going to read it verbatim, and for some reason it wasn't. My rollerball was not working. But basically, it's the page that I shared. Was designed to help people. So in Bob's own words, it's designed to help people who are collecting the Alchemical Tarot to identify the different editions. There are 6 editions identified below by the box cover and the front and back of the star card. I picked this card because it was the first one I designed for the deck, and it was the first to be published when it appeared in an article in Gnosis magazine in 1989 before the deck came out. So this deck has been kicking around for a while. So it's been, the first edition was published in 1989, and it is the 6th edition, I believe, was published last year in 2022.
Yes.
That's an excellent question. Are the cards different from edition to edition? I don't know. Let me look. Oh, sorry. First edition was published in 1995 by Thorson's, the UK branch of HarperCollins. The original Lover's card I designed for the deck was considered too sexually explicit. So I redesigned it with the lovers only kissing. Same proportions as the Waite-Smith cards, but the publisher wanted them wider. So there was a border design. It came as a box set with a book that I co-authored with Rosemary Ellen Gooley, or Guiley. That's why both of her names were on the box. And I believe all editions are out of print except for the 6th edition.
Yes.
So.
And in the 6th edition, he does have both versions of the lovers. So if you want the spicy lovers or the regular lovers, they're both featured. I have them both in.
Okay. I don't know, Jenny. I don't know if the court cards are going to be different from edition to edition. We're going to find out. We're going to find out in the deep dive. But I can quickly look through and see.
And then in the in the 6th edition, he added an extra major, which is a truth card.
Ooh.
Yeah, these are the. I mean, even the new lovers is kind of explicit. I'm gonna censor it with my finger. And then
it's not as, I don't think it's as bad as the Mary L Tarot. Like if you want a deck that's really,
I gotta
wow. Okay,
yeah.
what? Well then,
That's the original. It's
I can understand why his publisher wanted to change it.
yeah.
No
So
shade. No shade at
no
all
shade.
to Bob Place. You know, obviously we like his work, otherwise we wouldn't be featuring it in a tarot deck deep dive. But you know, I think that's the spicy lovers card is the definition of the deep and deep dive.
The star is also a little out there. You can imagine where the streams of are emerging
Okay.
from. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I'm
Yeah. But like,
playing.
are we gonna? I'm wondering. I'm wondering if our accounts are gonna get flagged
I
from
know.
sharing this.
I'm usually what I end up doing with the more explicit ones is I do some strategically placed crystals.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm looking at the magician right now, and you know he's magical.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not just one staff in the magician card. Let's just put it
No.
that way.
This is the truth card who is covered up. That's the new major.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, even the strength card has like the one bare breast. So
Yeah.
But yeah, as to the question of the court cards different from addition to addition, I don't think so, but I'm gonna do a quick like search. Come on. All right.
Yeah, that's one thing to take into consideration. I love this deck, but if you're looking for a Robert in Place deck that isn't as free with the magician's name. So if you're looking for a deck that doesn't have as much nudity, then his other pretty mainstream deck, Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, is much more covered up.
Yeah, and here's the box for the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery.
It's the great thing about
Katie's comment, magician's nickname is Tripod. Sure, why not? Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not sure if this is the Hermit card. It looks like the Hermit
that's
card,
the Hermit.
but that's the back of the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery. But yeah, so you know, Sophia's absolutely right. Like, if you would prefer a deck that's not as booby, then you might want to go with that one.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that Robert in Place has produced a ton of material. There is a Robert in Place deck for everybody.
Yeah, Katie, come on. We're not fooled. We're not fooled by the innocent look. It's
Wonk,
not
wonk.
there. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, let me look at some of the other stuff here. Like I think the court cards are unaffected. And I think like some of the changes were slight in nature, and some of them were like one card or two cards that changed in each edition, in each subsequent edition.
And I think the backs changed. Did they? Because mine is blue.
Let me see. Okay, you've got a blue back. I think mine's green. Yeah, mine's got a green.
And
on the back.
And then what does the sky look like on yours? Because I know he dubbed this one the Blue Sky Edition. I'm gonna find a less booby card to prove that point.
Mine has like a grayish, like a gray brown. Like here's the Lady of Staffs is not flashing. So
interesting. Yeah, all of mine have this sort of sky blue. It's a little bit more saturated. So I guess that's what makes it the Blue Sky Edition.
Got it.
So little things like that. And like the deck is really gorgeous. Robert in Place's art, like this is the Ace of Pentacles.
Yeah, I just flipped through and saw that.
It's so good.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful deck. Yeah. Yeah, Liz's comments about to pop up. It's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I just found that one too. Like literally we happen to be seeing the different ones, but yeah.
It's a
I
very
like
different
the
art style than his others.
I like the that taupish kind of background. I mean, like, you know, the Three of Swords has no business being this pretty.
Ooh, let me find mine. This is mine.
Yep, see the blue sky edition.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I feel like it really pops against the blue.
Yeah. But I mean, this is beautiful. It's nice too. I mean, certain cards are going to pop differently with a different
Yeah.
background. Ooh, I really love the interpretation or the visual interpretation of the Four of Coins.
Yeah.
Where he's burying the
Burying it.
coins. That's
The
very
other,
cool.
I think that's the one where can you hold it up one more time?
Sure.
That one. I think it's either that one or the 5, where in Sevenfold Mystery it's the same card, but he removes the bottom half of the image, so it's suggested in Sevenfold Mystery, but it's revealed in the Alchemical Tarot.
Interesting. So it's just like got to catch them all.
No, so it's an addiction. I swear.
Oh,
He really sets you up.
The moon is really beautiful.
Oh, it's so good. And then the High Priestess is gorgeous too on her moon.
Yeah, let's compare. Oh, the Empress card I can't show. She's naked.
No.
She's naked. And I have the explicit lovers.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was about to say good. I don't know if that's good or bad for you, or neutral.
That's strategic emojis probably are going to be happening there.
Yeah. I love the King of Cups in this deck because it references the Fisher King, and those are my favorite Kings of Cups. Instead of having the Fisher King, we have the Whale. It's like, if anybody has an edition of the Cariel Visconti that has the Fisher King as the world,
please contact Sophia at benevolentcorpus.com. The Death card
is good. And then
it's like almost it's almost like apocalyptic in nature, that Death card.
Yes. He gets rid of the page, and it's just this fish. It's so good. All of these are things that I've considered emailing him about, asking if it's kosher for me to get tattooed.
Yeah, I mean, in general, like that seems to be like a thing, to ask permission for that particular tattoo. Like I didn't do that for my High Priestess tattoo, even though it is based upon someone's artwork, but it's like it's not a real tarot deck though. That it like they didn't even make a majors only. You know, they only were inspired by a couple of the tarot cards. And so I was just like, you know, never mind.
Yeah.
But like, for example, a lot of people get the some images from the I think it was the Wild Unknown tattooed, especially her Kim Kranz's depiction of the 4 suits.
Yeah.
Especially that like little flowering branch, you know, for the wands. So in that case, I would understand that people would reach out to the original artist and be like, do you mind if I have this permanently tattooed on my body?
Yeah, and I feel like it depends on the artist. I've never heard of someone saying no, but different artists have different policies. I know a lot of indie creators that some will say you bought the deck, you're good. Others will say, I know a couple people that have decks on Etsy will have something on their Etsy store, which depending on the artist, I've seen like some people do like for $10, it's called a tattoo pass. And you buy the $10 thing, and then some of them send you a high res copy of the art to give to your artist. It depends on the person.
And then there's other I believe Kim Kranz had worked in such a way that she was just like, make a donation to this charity and then send me the receipt, and like you're good to go. So There's different ways of doing it, but yeah, I mean, like, technically speaking, it's good to ask. It's good to,
Yeah,
get permission from the artist. Look at the 2 of
I know.
pentacles. Like,
And
is
then
that the lion's like it looks like the lion is eating the eagle.
and here's Temperance.
Wow.
I love her. Are you a Temperance person? I feel like people either love Temperance or are like, eh.
It depends. It really depends. As long as that the meaning isn't obscured, I'm fine with it. Ooh, the chariot card. Like the chariot
I
in
know the
this is very
chariot's so
interesting
cool.
because they show it from behind instead of from the front.
Yes. And then mine, it has it backlit a little bit with the blue.
Hmm. Are there are there any requests for certain cards in the chat? Like, go ahead and put in the chat. Like, I want to see, the Queen of Swords, or I want to see the Ace of Pentacles, or I want to see blah, blah, blah. Like, go ahead and put that into the chat. And if it's not too booberific, we'll show it. Like the World card, I can't really show because it's full frontal. But then again, like I've posted the Lovers card, with the naked Adam and Eve, and I haven't really had any problems. But I don't know, for some reason for this, it's like it can be very like,
Yeah.
woo, okay, that's
I've
like
I've never had any issues with the gram of Insta, but I know the Book of Face has feelings about it on occasion.
like how do I strategically let's put that over her boobies. But I love the World card.
Yeah, no, it's all the elements. I love that one.
It's gorgeous.
And then I
And in the middle
found
is the heart.
Queen of
So
Pentacles.
Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. So Jenny is requesting the Queen of Pentacles. So let's see if we can both find the Queen of Pentacles to show the differences.
Phew, as I'm sneezing.
Bless you.
Oh, and I also found that card I was talking about. It is the Five of Pentacles. If you, in the sevenfold, you can't see that he's missing a leg.
Yeah,
It just looks like he's crouching down. Wherein this, you can see the full picture. It's interesting, and he discusses it in the brick. Which is not actually called the brick, it just is.
for the efforts of this particular live stream, we're going to be calling it the brick.
It's easier than listing the whole title. All right, so I'm just going to cover the boobage on our Queen of Wands.
She's got staffs, right?
She's
staffs.
got an off-the-shoulder moment going on.
As is mine, so I'm going to go ahead and cover up. But there's the difference between the two of them.
It's just the background that's changed.
But the background is not just a solid blue.
No,
it's like
it has the sunrise.
It's the sunrise, yeah. I'm a little bit jealous.
It's available on robertandplace.com.
Sorry. So that was let me display. That was the Queen of Wands first for Katie. Because we happened to come across the Queen of Staves or Staves first. And we have another spammer. Get bent.
To the rescue.
So while Sophie is wearing her moderator hat, let me find I found I know that nobody asked, but I found the Lady of Vessels, which is not the same as the Queen. There's the Lady of Vessels. Lady of Swords.
Here she is. Oop, nope, did not want to go to her page.
Ooh,
Goodbye.
Devil. The devil is like hermaphroditic. Two-headed and hermaphroditic. Wow. Interesting.
They're gone. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So Queen of Vessels, let me go ahead and cover. Now, Queen of Vessels, like this is the reason why I wanted this deck. Because I happened to get it out of this, it wasn't like a swap bucket, but it was like a bucket of tarot cards. Like randomized tarot cards from different decks. And I got this at SF Bats. And I pulled that card and I was just like, what deck is this from? And so I had to like ask around, and then people told me it's from the Alchemical Tarot. And so it was like for years that I was trying to get the Alchemical Tarot. And so I ended up getting the 4th edition. But that was the reason why I got the Alchemical Tarot, that particular card, the Queen of Vessels.
It's such a pretty deck. I never made it to SF Bats. Newts was my first tarot conference, but Thalassa does have Bats mugs on eBay, and I might scoop one of those up.
So Fran was saying kind of mermaidish, yes, and Liz says the artwork is just gorgeous. Yes, exactly. This is going to be the deck of the month for March for me, and you're going to see 3 cards, like what Sophia was saying before at the top of the explaining the deep dive. You're going to see 3 cards every single day. So it's going to be a little bit different than how I work with a deck over the course of a month, but I'm looking forward to it. So Katie asked, did I miss what the lady represented in the deck? So I'm assuming that's lady is probably the page.
Yes. Oh, so did we show Queen of Wands or did we show Page of Wands? I just found Queen of Pentacles.
We saw the queens.
Okay.
We're looking for the queens. We're looking for the Queen of Pentacles.
Whoop.
All right, there's the Queen of Pentacles. I'm trying for mine.
I'm going to try to shift so you can see more. I'm going to switch my sensor hand so you can... Oh, the cornucopia she's holding does not make this better.
Yeah, I've got two lovers in here too. So I might have to, before I start working with this deck, I need to probably take one of them out. So...
I have both in.
Yeah, I have both. Well,
okay. I read with both. I read with both.
All right.
You do what makes you comfortable, but I keep them both in. I take the less static one as an exclamation point.
Got it. I see.
And the way that I'm censoring this is not making this look any better, but it's flowers, I swear.
So the court cards are lady is page, knight is still knight, queen is still queen, king is still king. Very quickly. And I'm looking for the Queen of Pentacles. Maybe I already missed it. I don't know. Knight of Vessels, Empress, Fool, Sun. Oh my, that is a graphic 10 of Swords. Okay. Queen of Coins. Yeah, how do I do this? Do I need like 2 fingers? Yeah.
I've been doing 2 fingers.
There's the Queen of Coins. And unfortunately I'm covering up her coin.
Yeah.
But
yes, Katie, lots of abundance in all its forms.
Yes. Let me display that. Queen of Pentacles looks rather like she would represent a lot of abundance in all its forms. Yeah. Listen, she's not one of the ones that can go without a bra. Let's just put it that way.
No.
I can understand that. I understand that.
Same here.
So yeah. Do we want to do the are there any other requests for cards? Do we want to do an example? Like, let's do the mid-episode reading, and let's do the mid-episode reading as an example of how we're going to work the deep dive, right?
I like that.
Okay. So I'm going to shuffle up. When also we have to try out this new lottery. So yes. Let's see. So widget, lottery jar.
Ooh, that's cute.
Isn't that cute? I just don't know how that would work though. So let's do it. Let's do an experimental one first.
Yes.
Okay. So this is not picking the actual winner. This is just a test. Okay, everybody. Let me refresh. I don't know how to do this. How do we do this? What the heck?
Ooh.
Oh, that's so cute.
It like pulls them out of the...
It pulls them out of the comment snake? Or is that just...
I
who
think that's the
puts in,
comment.
I don't think it's pulling it out of the comment snake. I think it's when you comment. So go ahead and comment if you would like to enter into the mid-episode reading. So Fran, I think you already are in there. Liz is
that's
already
how it
in.
works.
Yes, that's how it does it. Okay, cool. So we can still do what I've been doing, which is putting in a little, like, put the word this, but yep, but it doesn't even matter. So it's like a way to focus, like that keyword is a way to focus. But we don't really need it. So
I like that. It's cute. Then we can see
who's exactly in there, and I don't have to do any work.
yes. as it was meant to be.
Yeah, so that's a beta feature that's in Be Live, and I'm also like I'm in the beta group for like new features. So like everyone benefits from the fact that I'm in the beta group. So yeah, I think it's adorable. And Jenny says that's pretty cool. Yeah, it is. I'm just waiting for the comment assistant to just display these. Makes it so much easier. I don't have to click on anything. So yeah, so let me pull up that, and to be considered for a live reading, comment. That's all you need to do. Let's see. Comments in the chat. There. Okay. Update and show. So that's the crawler. Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of like moves things around. So let me drop that down. All right. So this is the mid-episode reading. It's happening right now. So look at that little jar. I don't know if we'll get any sound effects. The sound effects are the fun part about doing it on the wheel. But I also have to end up going to a different tab and entering names and everything else. So
we can just do a drum roll. We'll do a little drum roll. That fits with the theme of the deck.
Yes. But yeah, we're gonna shuffle, and that's gonna be the 3-card reading is going to be using how we're going to be using this for the deep dive for the alchemical tarot. And again, like what Sophia was saying, you don't have to have, like, if you have the alchemical tarot and you want to play along with us and you want to deep dive into this particular deck with us, like that's fine and that's great, and I'd love to see that. But at the same time, if you have a deck that you want to do a deep dive into, you can use the same parameters and do a deep dive with that particular deck.
Absolutely. Like there's a ton of decks that have pretty robust guidebooks that would be great for this. I feel like a deck that doesn't have such a robust guidebook, it would still work. I don't know if like the bibliomancy aspect of it will be as satisfying. But like for example, Mary L would be great. Has a
That's
nice
the
big
one I was
book.
thinking of. Yeah.
Nice big book. SKT, if you're feeling spicy.
Spirit Keeper Tarot, yep.
What's some other good ones? Thoth.
Thoth, yes.
There's 900 Thoth books. Or shameless plug because I'm obsessed with this right now. Squid Cake Marseille just came out mass market. It's a Marseille deck, but it actually has a full guidebook. That's 180.
It's beautiful. Pages. I've been eyeing it from your posts. I can't help it. It's beautiful.
And Coffee with the Fool is a genius. She essentially distills all of like the highbrow Marseille thought into a really cute little baby book. And it's a combination of her own thoughts in the top and then the visual language on the bottom. So nice. I really wish this existed mass market 2 months ago for when I did my Marseille study. But now it exists. So if you want to use this system to teach yourself Marseille, I think that could be great too. And shameless self-promo, my challenge is still up if you want to do it and go through the backlogs of the posts explaining it.
The Marseille challenge. It was very informative, and I started to understand a little bit because it's just like like sometimes tarot can be very dry unless you're putting it into action. But that can be very scary at the same time, where it's just like, I'm going to do it wrong, or I'm going to do it. And it's just like, that's the case for anything that you're learning new. Like most of the time, if you're a beginner at something, you're not going to be automatically good at it right away. There's something to be said about child prodigies and everything, but it's just like, but the skill that actually goes into practicing it, that's usually what carries people through. Like think about how many child prodigies like end up hating the thing that they were a prodigy in, you know. So, all right, we have only 3 entrants. Does anybody else want to enter? Because I think we have 7 people watching, and hopefully not
Yes.
all of them are, spammers.
Yes.
So
Who
just
won?
like, so
Did anyone know who's a recurring viewer win last week?
It was a new person that was tuning in on the tube of you, I believe, but it was a completely new person.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that was an interesting reading. And
I
also,
will.
thank you for reminding me, because this is like a crazy kind of coincidence here. So we did this stuff on runes, which was very interesting. We only got through like the first maybe line or two
Mm.
of the runes, but I recommended the Runes for Tarot Lovers blog series on Perseus Greenman's website, Futhark Village. Highly, highly recommend it, because, yeah, I can't remember her name, Fran, but I don't think she's in here tonight. So I think everyone's eligible if you want to put
That
your
was
name
my
in. It's totally
question,
fine. Yeah,
because I wasn't sure if people like Katie were holding off because they feel like they've won before.
right. And Katie was driving last week, so she couldn't participate. She had
Gotcha.
us in her ear. But the funny thing about doing the runes and like teaching the runes and then doing the mid-episode reading was I pulled 3 cards, but I was just like, you know what? Let me pull a rune too. And it ended up being Thurisaz.
Ooh.
And like just the combination of what came up, it like came up as like kind of a mama bear energy, and I was kind of mama bearing in that reading. And then I was looking at letters, or like the card that my former staff wrote me last year when I was leaving my job, and I just had it in a drawer, and I didn't really want to look at it, so I finally looked at it, and the card that was written like literally said, like, I appreciate so much that you were a mama bear. And I'm like, good grief, like you can't make that kind of
No.
stuff up. So yeah.
I gotta dig my runes back out. It's been a minute since I've used them. And someone at Newt's, one of my on the potlatch table, the leave a deck, take a deck table, one of my coven sisters found, if you know me personally, you know that I'm like a huge bones and stones kind of person. So she found me this set made out of chicken bones, and so I need an excuse to use it more. It's like chicken bones and glitter. It's great.
It's an unlikely combination, but it makes sense.
It's very benevolent Corvus. It's very benevolent Corvus.
Very on brand for Sophia. Yeah, I don't know. Have you written that one yet? Should I bring the bones? I think you did. I think that was your first newsletter.
That was my first one. That was my first one, and then I recently did. My most recent newsletter was about my vintage deck collecting habits and how I don't always cleanse the random decks I buy on eBay because I live dangerously, fast and loose.
Yeah, I think we mentioned you in an upcoming Card Slingers episode about that. About, and I think I was able to link directly to that particular edition of the newsletter. So like, just to let you know.
For anyone seeing my faces, know that we had a running joke that if Melissa ever saw me, that she was going to haze me because I'm obsessed with her, and that it's a whole thing. And so it's one of those things when you meet your heroes, it's just like, You know
Sometimes
we
you don't want to.
exist.
Sometimes you
Melissa's
don't want to
lovely.
meet your heroes, but you know,
Well, all
in
three
the
of
case
you are
of the
fabulous. So,
Carsons. Oh, come on now. Oh, and
speaking of
the
which, all three published authors buy all of their books. Ka-ching,
yes.
ka-ching, air horn.
Ka-ching, ka-ching, air horn noise. Actually, the newest episode came out today, and we talk about spreads again. So that episode is number, oh God, is it 72 or
I can
73?
check. I just finished watching it before we came on.
Ooh. Jenny is
Well,
asking who you are on the Insta. Sophia is Benevolent Corvus on Instagram. So you can feel free to put that into the chat, Sophia, or I can put it on
72.
It's
Let me put
episode
it in.
72. So many spreads is the newest episode, and then and then my podcast episode, my personal podcast episode, I just put out. That was episode 30, which I can't believe. And that is on how I record my card of the day post step by step. So that is a longer episode. So I would highly encourage you grab a mug of something cozy or an alcoholic beverage if you want to.
Oh, that's like
it's a long episode.
that link is okay. It's shrunk itself. I was like, that link looks really gross. And then this is my website.
Wow, that is a humongous link there.
I don't know why it did that.
I don't know why it did that either. But basically, it's Benevolent Corvus on Instagram, and I'll find the Instagram handle. Benevolent.
And this is my website, which is a much cleaner link.
Yes. Benevolent
Much less
_Corvus.
gross. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is
cool.
I think
cool.
I may go admin mode and delete my own comment because that's ridiculous.
Because that's atrocious. There we go.
That's gross.
So
I'm going to copy a less gross one.
That's Sophia's website, and then that is her handle. So there you go. All right. I don't want to be entered into my own thing, though.
Oh,
all
God.
Right.
Did I enter myself into the yes, I did?
We both did. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. All right. That's just a sign that we need to go ahead and do this.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. Get a winner. Are we ready? Let's try this out. Get a winner. See? Me. No. Get a winner. Not no. Refresh. Oh, no. See, this is why it's in beta mode. Okay. Please enter again. Sophia and I will not put anything into the chat.
No.
So Jenny, please enter, like, please comment.
Should
Katie,
we pick a fun word?
Here. Katie, if you're still here, please comment. Liz, Fran, Jenny. Thank you. Even if it's LOLs.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh no's also count.
Oh, LOL, oh no. Damn it. How many people were entered before? Was it 3?
I think it was so. 3. And then I accidentally entered myself.
And then I entered myself. All right. I'll give it another like minute, and then we've gotta do this shit. Yeah, and then I pulled the devil card just to see like what the fuck.
Yeah. It was 3. Okay,
yeah,
thank
3.
you.
It was 3. Cool. Okay. So I don't want to like. Yeah, Fran and Jenny and Liz, I think. And
that
then,
sounds correct.
Yeah, and then I know that Katie is here or was here. Yeah. But Katie, if you're still around and you want to enter, you totally can, because I know that you didn't enter last week because you brought us with you when you were driving. So.
Oh.
Well,
too bad.
Oh well. Too bad. So sad. You're already entered. And if you don't have any question, that's fine. We'll find something.
We'll make one up for you.
We'll make one up for you.
We will invent a problem for you.
All right, let's try this.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna hide this, and we're gonna go ahead and get a winner. Okay. All right, get a winner. It's Liz.
Woo!
It's Liz. Congratulations, Liz. Yay. So I don't know how big you can see that on screen, but I can see it fine.
I can see
So
Liz.
cute. It is so cute. I love it. It doesn't have a sound, doesn't have sound effects, but like I like that it's just native to the platform so I can use it. So yay.
And it matches the aesthetic.
It does. It does. It has like the nice, like clear, whatever. So yes, Liz, winner, chicken dinner. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your question into the chat and we will display it. And then Sophia and I will both pull 3 cards. And we're going to do it in the way that we just explained, where, we're going to pick the middle main arcana card based on your question, right? Or based on the topic. And then we're going to pull left and right and then, read it in the way that we just basically described. Yeah, I was just laughing at Katie's too. I have plenty of problems. Thank you, Sophia. I don't need any more. Yeah, so we'll wait on Liz's, we'll wait on Liz's question and I'm going to hydrate myself. But yeah, thank you. Thank you all for participating in the mid-episode reading and like dealing with me beta testing that new feature. Now, Liz, is that your question? Is that your topic, love? Or do you have a more specific question that's love related? I like to, ask questions. But sometimes it's fun to just do a general topic and see what comes up in the cards too. So just let me know. Oh, I feel as parched as the Sahara. Current relationship. Okay. Current relationship. All right. So, Sophia, since you've been guiding like this concept of the deep dive, what major arcana card would you choose for a relationship reading?
Ooh.
And would it be the major arcana, or can you select from the minor arcana too for the middle card?
I'm going to say majors just to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to actually give Liz the choice between 2 different majors, depending on how she feels about her current relationship. Do we want to go for the Lovers card, or do we want to go for perhaps the Empress? I think of the Empress as like a more settled relationship, or I think of the Lovers as pretty on the nose, but I tend to see the Lovers as more of like a choice. So perhaps thinking about choices in your relationship, or the Empress. So I will leave that up to Liz, what feels more appropriate to her.
Or considering there's 2 of us, do we want to do both? Like I do the Empress and you do the Lovers?
Liz just
she selected the Lovers. Or we can just both do Lovers because it's going to be different cards on either side. Okay, so let's
And there's
let's
2 different Lovers
then.
cards. There's 2 different Lovers cards.
Well, one of them we can't really show.
One of them we can't show. I just got the nudie one. So
well, let's see which one I get.
I'll have to block out the bottom half of the card with my hand.
And I have to find the Lovers card, but like you go ahead. You can go first since I'm finding the Lovers card.
Okay.
All right, so I'll display the question, current relationship.
Okay. Interesting. I have the 3 of Swords, the Lovers, and the Lady of Vessels. So Page of Cups, 3 of Swords, Lovers. So first things first, if we're going based on how the challenge would be structured, going to turn to our Lovers, because he specifies that there's a difference between the Lovers kissing and the Lovers joining, is how he puts it. So I have the Lovers joining. So so he considers the Lovers kissing as the foreplay of love. So it's attraction, coming together, partnership, where the Lovers joining is the same as the above but more active. So potentially this is a relationship maybe going through some changes, or that we're kind of reevaluating how we feel about the relationship, things like that. So that's kind of the tone that is in mine, is that we're kind of going through some changes, we're progressing through that. So with the Three of Swords and the Lady of Vessels, so it seems like we're really thinking about feelings here. And because we have the Lady of Vessels, I'm getting the intuitive hit that that's more of like that's a person in this situation. So perhaps this represents you and your feelings about this. So when we get into our Three of Swords, which he doesn't take this necessarily as the fire and brimstone. He goes more of like a Marseille approach where threes are expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps what's going on right now in your relationship is you're kind of thinking about what's the longevity of this situation? How do we feel like, how can I expand this in my mind? Do I have space for a relationship right now in my mind? Do I have other things going on? That's kind of what I'm getting, is that there's a lot of chatter going on upstairs
Mm-hmm.
regarding this relationship. And that's kind of what I'm getting here, is you're kind of reevaluating how you feel about this relationship, or how you want to take things to the next level, because this is a more active connection based on our lovers are very active in the depiction that I have here.
And I purposely went for the other one since there is two. So I pulled the one that they're just kissing, and it's very kind of demure in nature. So say again what that one means. Is it like that potential?
Yes, it's a little bit of potential energy. It's more like the initial parts of
Mm-hmm.
the conjunction if we're thinking alchemical.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the elements beginning to recombine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Liz is saying in the chat, definitely want to progress. And so because I pulled like kind of like the initiation, the start or whatever, the cards that I pulled to left and then the right is they're both reversed cards. So I feel like the initiation really has to happen through you, Liz, rather than your partner. And I think that's part of what's going on, like what Sophia was saying, where it's just like if I have to be the one that initiates, like I don't know if the progression is actually going to happen because I want this to be more of a two-sided relationship where it's just like I feel like I'm the only one in it right now. And the reason I'm saying that is because of both cards that came up before and after the Lover's card are both reversed, but one of them is the Knight of Swords reversed. So I feel like that is not necessarily you, but it might be your partner, where there's just like, it feels like you're always the one initiating the invitation to engage. And it's like, it's a lot. And it's just like, there's more communication that is needed here, especially with the Swords card coming up reversed. It feels like, I don't know, maybe your partner is not so great with words, or you need to have a conversation about what your love languages are, because right now there seems to be a disconnect happening. And then the other card that I got after is the Ace of Pentacles. So it's just like, not only is it happening where it's just like you want to know the progress, you want to know that there is that future. And with the Ace of Pentacles reversed or the Ace of Coins reversed, it's just like with the problems that are going on now, it's just like I can't see a future unless this changes. Like the present has to change for there to be a future. So like not only that, the fact that we're using the Lover's card, there is that choice, there is that crossroads. So I think that's part of the reason why you're asking. You could have asked any question for this episode, for this reading, but you chose this. And it's because it's kind of like you are at a crossroads, but only you can choose. Does that make sense, Liz? Yeah, definitely want to progress. I want to grow old with this person. So it's like communication needs to be that first step, but it's hard to always be the communicator, you know? Like anything else, Sophia, that you're getting?
With that Ace of Pentacles, I'm kind of getting this gut feeling. This is not a cards feeling. I just have like a intuitive feeling as my door swings into my face. I have this intuitive feeling that perhaps Liz is the one that's holding the bag in this relationship. And that perhaps Liz is the one that's a little bit more stable. And she's been the one that's kind of like keeping this thing together from a monetary perspective and an emotional perspective. So perhaps it's that, like, I get this just intuitive hit that you're going to be the one that ends up stuck holding the bag.
Yeah. So there is a yes to both of our interpretations, and then just let us know if there's anything else, Liz. And actually, since the episode was on runes last week, I'm gonna go see if I can find my runes because they're kind of calling me from the other room.
Should I grab?
They're like,
should I grab the bones?
Sure, grab the bones.
I'm gonna
grab
duck
the
underneath
bones.
my wire. I hope no one can see my pajama pants.
I'm also wearing pajama pants, so it's just like this is the reality.
I messaged Hilary before we started and said, I'm actually prepared this time. I'm mostly dressed.
I put on makeup for this episode. I don't know if anyone can tell.
I put on makeup and a shirt. I was wearing a shirt. It was just a pajama shirt. So I was not naked, if that's what people were thinking.
Well, I mean, it's appropriate for a Bob Place, Bob Place tarot deck episode.
Don't look, Ethel.
So I'm gonna let you get out the bones while I go and get my runes because my runes are in the other room. So, and every time this happens, Sophia vows to take over the episode, take over the live stream. So go ahead.
Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah, when I wrote that newsletter, people didn't think I was literal. I was. I'll hold up some of these so you can see them. So they're little chicken bones that have been painted with gold metallic paint and have rhinestones on them. Listen, tarot readers like to be comfy, especially if it's listen, if you're getting a Zoom reading with me, it's the professional part's waist up. I just finished a ton of grad school interviews, and they don't need to know what's going on below the table. It's pajama pants. It's always pajama pants. Okay. So I'll show you guys some more of my chicken bones. They're great. I don't know who made them. I don't know why. But someone out there was possessed one day by the urge to paint chicken bones gold and put rhinestones on them. And I'd like to know who it was, because they sound like someone I'd like to hang out with. I don't know if they're real bones or plastic. Like, I genuinely don't know. Like,
I can't find my carnelian runes.
Oh.
I found my other ones.
Bone readings I'd like to learn. But I feel like I'd have to get bigger bones, and I have to contact my bone guy about that. I don't have a bone guy. My bone guy is Paxton's Gate, the oddity store in San Francisco. That's
wow. Yeah, where are my carnelian runes? So I've got my other ones, but I can't find my carnelian runes. I have no idea where I put them. Guys, you have to speak up.
I feel like they have like Baba Yaga energy, the chicken
bones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It gives me like woman who lives in a house on chicken legs.
Yeah, chicken bones would probably be more accurate for rune readings. Yeah. Most likely. Okay, so when you pull runes, do you pull 1? Do you pull 2? Do you pull 3?
I like 3s in general.
Okay.
And so for these, because if I throw these on the table, they're going to go everywhere. So I typically shake the
Pull.
bag and then pull.
Okay. Yeah, I pulled 3 as well. Please keep in mind that I am a better tarot reader than I'm a rune reader.
Same. I did a 6-month study on runes, but that doesn't account for my 6 years of tarot experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I have my notes for runes, which is why I don't charge for rune readings. It's because I have my gigantic notebook of rune thoughts. And they are not memorized. Chicken bone guide.
Yeah, the comments are particularly weird tonight, and I love it. Okay,
it's my kind of weird.
Back to the reading.
Okay. I have Manas, Therias, and it's not Wunjo.
Sowilo. I might have Wunjo. Hold on. Yes, I have Wunjo.
And then I have, what's this last guy? Some of these are not, it's Iwaz. So Iwaz is first. So longevity, it could be longevity, communication. It can represent the spine and that connection. We have Therias, so breaking down barriers. So it seems like a lot of communication and kind of getting down to to having those conversations. What I have written down here from my own UPG is sit with the feelings. Think about it. Directed force, breaking down barriers, awakening self-empowerment. And then Manas is divine intelligence, chaos and duality, memory and learning. So it seems like what needs to happen here is exactly like what the tarot has been saying for both me and Hilary, is there needs to be some sort of conversation between the two of you. What does the next step look like? What do we both want? Perhaps if you haven't discussed already what your life, what your ideal lives look like, these are big things when it comes to the gravity of wanting to spend the rest of one's mortal existence with someone. It's like, it's one thing to like the same TV show, but do you agree on how to load a dishwasher? And if you disagree, is that going to bother you? Like, these are the things when it comes to like living with someone long term. Like, do you have fundamentally different opinions on how the toilet paper should be oriented? These sound like small things, but eventually they add up in terms of larger life things. Like, does one of you want children and the other one not want children? Those are big things to know. Does this person believe in marriage? Do you believe in marriage? You just started talking about your future. Okay, so that makes sense. These are the big things. Ask about the toilet paper. It matters. Trust me, says the Virgo. Toilet paper matters.
Yeah, exactly. Jenny's saying, can you cook a meal together? Yeah. Like it's like it really is the little things. I think I got Wunjo, Sowilo, and Othola. I'm not sure if this is Othola. I think this might be my version of Othola.
That is. Okay. You see it both ways.
Okay. So Wunjo is joy, yes. Like typically. It's a good rune. Yeah, where the heck did I put it? So I'm going to my my main guy, Perseus, for the runes. I heave a sigh of relief because it usually means that the situation will end well for the querent. If I see this with Jera, it means something like the Seven of Pentacles. Hagala's Wunjo becomes hopeful interpretation. Da 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 da. Okay, yeah. So it is like ultimately it's a good rune to see in association with the question that you asked, where it's just like it usually it resolves itself, or it not necessarily it resolves itself, but it's just like I feel like there is an undercurrent of love and joy there that like keeps it intact, but that doesn't mean that you can put off these conversations. you know let's see. So Willow,
Also positive, so Willow.
also positive. Illumination. Um, when
Sun
the
card.
person, yeah, it's a sun card. When the current thinks they saw something but they can't see it now, this is also that rune. When this rune comes up in a reading, I talk to the querent about what they don't know in a situation. In addition to what they don't know, I also try to suss out what they don't know that they don't know. That's a good one. That's the reason why I like the Runes for Tarot Lovers series, because it really helps to illuminate, to make sense of one divination system by using the other. Let's see. And then Othala, this rune comes up when someone is grappling with the fact that their parents are selling their child at home. It can also mean that they need to check in with their parents, grandparents, aunts, or uncles. It's kind of like the rune of like legacy. And so it's not surprising that it comes up because you're talking about the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the future is going to be eventually be like your past becomes your legacy. Your future also becomes the past eventually. So it's just like it makes sense that it's coming up. But I think that I think that the tarot is almost like a little bit more not negative, but it's more specific in nature, and the runes are just like everything's kind of like going to be okay, but it's like but you do need to address it now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it's usually the other way around.
Yes.
Where it's just like the tarot is kind of a bit more vague and lovey-dovey, and the runes or the Lenormand or whatever are just like, no, this now and this and this, and very cut and dry. So it's an interesting kind of juxtaposition.
This deck for me is similar to the Sorcery Underground, in which when I pair more quote unquote aggressive tools with it, it's the big bad, and the other things temper it. So that's my experience with the Alchemical Tarot as well. Runes are typically the heavy hitter. Thoth is typically the heavy hitter. Both of those things with Sorcery Underground temper it. So I think that might be something that we find out with the Alchemical Tarot. Like something that I'm definitely going to do eventually with this challenge is I am a magpie. I like things. So I'm probably going to end up starting with straightforward Alchemical Tarot, and then by like week 3, be prepared to see me start mixing it with some wacky things. Is typically how I end up spicing up my deep dives. Is eventually I get to the point where it's like, okay, I know how you speak, I know how you work. How do you play with all of these other things?
And that's do you play well with others?
Do you play well with others? I have some decks that do not play well with others, and I don't use them with other things because I'm like, dude, you're a lot on your own, and nothing calms you down. Like you gotta chill.
Right.
There's a reason why Deviant Moon does not come with me to any gigs.
Yeah, it does not play. It does not play.
No. Triumph de la Luna will play. Different Patrick Valenza deck. That deck will play. That deck I can bring in public. It knows how to behave in public. The Deviant Moon's like, I don't care.
So, Liz, I hope that these readings helped you. Let us know. I mean, you did just say we just started talking about our future, so hopefully this gives you a little bit of a heads up on what you need to address and how you need to be specific and how you need to communicate in order to get the best possible outcome, which is having a future with this person. So I hope it helps. And thank you very much for the honor of reading for you, because, you know, sometimes getting read for in public can be a very vulnerable thing. So I always appreciate when people volunteer to do so. So yeah, what else can we say about, you know, the deep dive that we haven't already said? Like, I think that's a great illustration of how the deep dive's kind of going to work. So, does anyone have any questions about, like, you're very welcome, Liz. You're very welcome. Does anyone have any questions about how to select a major arcana card for the middle? Because that would be something that I would probably be like, I don't know. I don't know how to do that, like in application to a question. So like we can have an example, like we just had the example of Liz for like the current relationship. We picked the Lovers card. You might have a different sense of what you would use. Jenny's question is something that I think I asked, and I think it's better. Can you just draw a random major? Like you could, but if you're used to doing random shuffles and pulls, I would ask you to challenge yourself and try and do a pre-selected major and then shuffle and do the pull for the left and the right. Like this is like kind of getting out of your comfort zone, I would say.
A good modification though, and something that I did in a little bit in my Marseille challenge, I don't always have a question. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I don't have a question and I don't have someone to kindly manufacture a problem for me, like I kindly offered for Katie. But so, love you, Katie. But so what I did for my Marseille challenge is, say, for example, in a given deck, if I have a major where I'm like, this is a very interesting take on that, what I'll do is I'll purposely select that one and I'll ask, what can this particular interpretation teach me? Ooh. And so I'll do something like that. So the reason why I did the Marseille challenge is because I could not get Trionfi della Luna to cooperate with me. And the reason why is I wasn't listening and I was the problem. And so sometimes the problem is you. Crazy. And so
that's stupid Taylor Swift clip. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
It was I. I was the problem. So yeah, it turns out you maybe shouldn't read a Marseille deck like a Thoth deck. Like crazy. It maybe doesn't want to do that. All of you.
Right. I mean, like these different divination systems were created on purpose. You know, like they were done on purpose to elicit the best possible outcome. I mean, it's very similar to, you know, trying to read a Lenormand deck like a tarot deck. It you know, you're probably going to have problems with that because it's not meant to be read that way.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that too. I cause problems. Yes, answer will be repeated.
Yep, that's true. And you know, the same thing can be said for, you know, problematic tarot cards. It's not the tarot card that's necessarily the problem. It's your understanding, your perspective of it based on your experience, which I've talked about a little bit on like past live streams, where I think it was like the difficult cards or like the big baddie cards of the tarot. And that was like years ago I did that live stream. But like some of the cards that I brought up were like the tarot card, the tower card, the devil, 3 of swords, you know.
Hierophant, and sometimes even hate.
The Hierophant, that's what my example, because I have a problem with organized religion. And the Emperor card, even though it's my birth card, you know, it can be sometimes hard to relate to because, you know, and the same thing can be said for the Empress card even. It's just like, what's your relationship with your mother? Well, what's your relationship with your father? Is it a good relationship? Is it a bad relationship? Is it a problematic or confrontational relationship? Then your relationship to that tarot card's archetype will probably be difficult as well until you heal it or resolve it.
or even certain
Oh,
types of interpretations. I don't
right.
love a pregnant empress. Really, really, really don't like a pregnant empress. And
Yeah.
I have refrained from buying certain decks because of it, because I just
Yeah.
don't like it. And there's like not anything in particular. Like I'm not like anti pregnancy. That's not like a stance I have or anything. It's just I personally just for whatever reason can't get down with it.
Mhm.
And like I'm also a huge Queen of Swords fan. So if I don't like the Queen of Swords, you got to really show me a good array of other things for me to get over that.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. And I mean, like, that's another example of how do you know what deck is right for you. It's just like you kind of have to look through the deck either by looking through the cards themselves physically, or if you're not able to do that, because most of them are blister packed,
Mhm.
looking it up online, looking at different deck reviews or unboxings, to see if that card's imagery, or especially the cards that you love and need to have, a good visual relationship with, that's like the only way you'll be able to find that out. Like, I have the same reaction with the Queen of Swords, with the High Priestess, with the Death card. Sometimes even if the Death card is too pretty, I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm out, because it's just like sometimes certain cards have to be a wake up call, have to be visually disturbing, or else it kind of negates the meaning of the card, you know?
Absolutely. And I also have, I don't know how you feel about this. I have opinions about pips. I
Mhm.
want it to be a pip. Um, I don't, I can't remember if I've explained this before, but I like what my good, my tarot coven sister Danielle calls pips with feelings. Like
Mhm.
Thoth pips are pips with feelings. Like there's things going on in them that I can tie into. Or the Marseille pips, there's a very specific language. Vector art decks are very pretty. They serve a purpose. They are great for so many people. I cannot do 8 sticks in a row. I just
Yep.
cannot do it. I'm like, I know what the card means, but if it's, I'm at a point with my collection where I have too many decks. And so if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to bring it in, I want those pips to do something for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what I say about illustrated versus non-illustrated, where I want the pips to have a story. I want there to be a visual story there, because, five sticks on a blank background doesn't work for me, or nine cups on a background doesn't work for me, because I mean, it actually it does work for me, because I know what the Rider Waite
Mhm.
Smith Nine of Cups looks like, or the Five of Wands. I know what that looks like. So I can go back into my
Mhm.
filing cabinet and pull that visual forward to be
Mhm.
able to read that card. But for most beginners, I'm just like, you don't want a non-illustrated pip deck, because you don't have the juice there to
Mhm.
be able to read from. It's going to be very difficult for you to read with that deck. And I would rather people, you know be attracted to a deck that has a rich visual language and symbology for them to glom onto, than have them memorize five sticks on a blank background. Because you can certainly do it that way, but you're probably going to become resentful of your tarot practice if you do it that way. So,
I've
because I
actually
don't
found
think memorization doesn't work. Like, I really feel that way. It doesn't work. I mean, I think I just put up a talk of tick video with controversial opinion number one of probably many, which is memorization doesn't work.
see, I have different feelings about that. I'm a
See?
memorization person. Like I'm teaching one of my grandma's really close friends how to read tarot right now. And I started with a I told her pick up an RWS Centennial. It's on sale. They're great. It's a good RWS. I've got feelings about that too, but we won't get into today. And so when I started teaching her the scenic minors, it got really confusing for her because
Mm,
she's like four means different things on all of these cards. And so what was easier for her actually was to go about it first learning the numerology
Mhm.
plus the
Mhm.
element. So not looking
Mhm.
at the scene yet.
Mhm.
First, just deciding this is what 4 means. This is what 4 plus water means. This is what 4 plus fire means. And that was easier than the scenes, where I've taught other people where if I try to teach them 4 plus fire, they're like, what the heck are you talking about, you psycho? And it's just like, so I feel like it really depends. And I was thinking about that with the Marseille. Like, I feel like if you're if you're like a numbers person, Marseille almost might be easier in some cases.
Mhm.
Which is not me saying that Marseille is the one true tarot or Thoth is the one true tarot or anything like
Right.
that.
Right.
No, not in my mind. RWS is valid, which I don't think needs to be said, but sometimes it does. All tarot is valid. Your tarot is valid unless you're telling me that the tower mixed with the chariot means that he's going to marry me.
And then we have a disagreement on our
Yes,
hands.
then we have words. But
Yes.
so it's been surprising that I feel like the pips work for some people where for me it didn't. I needed a picture
Mhm.
at first,
Yeah.
and then I've kind of, I don't want to say graduated because that's not true, but I pivoted is a word that I think is better to other
Yeah, that's
systems.
yeah, that's a better word. And I do like that the concept of learning different divination systems in order to have your like kind of foothold into another divination system, because it's just like once you learn one, you might be able to translate those skills into learning another. But yeah, my controversial opinion is that memorization doesn't work. But really, like if you break it down, it's just like memorization might not work for you if your learning style is blank. But for the talk of tick, where our attention spans are the size of gnats, you know here, come to me. Argue with me. That's fine. Sometimes you need that polarizing opinion out there in order to like attract people. So, but then
Do I have
again,
enough
I
sparkly objects?
exactly like come. But then again, I just posted a short on coffee when I was making my coffee, and I didn't think it was controversial at all. And someone called it soupy poop water. So, that was the comment that I got.
That's
I'm just
new.
like,
That's
that's
new.
new and different and special. I mean, that's proof positive that everyone has an opinion about everything. So maybe, maybe just go ahead and do your own thing and screw the haters. So
Yeah.
yeah.
My social media is my fiefdom, and I am its unrelenting feudal lord.
Exactly. Like this is a dictatorship. Yeah, I know. Like because I don't remember if it was Jenny or somebody else that then commented, "Here's how I like my coffee," because that's what I was asking. She's like, I saw the comment and thought, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Because I don't know if you had commented that you put like maple syrup in your coffee, and I'm just like, that sounds like a
Perhaps
delicious alternative. You
mayhaps
know,
that commenter was just announcing their preference for muddy poop water.
soupy poop water. Maybe they
Maybe
like to
that's
drink
their
poop.
maybe that's their thing.
Ooh. Now I'm kind of put off on my coffee intake. Oh no.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean there's a comment for everything. And I mean, even when I've been doing my energy of the day, card of the day, I've gotten a comment that was just like, no. I'm like, okay, then maybe this message isn't for you. But it was just like, no. That was it.
My favorite thing is like I haven't posted anything too crazy publicly, but I love when TikTok creators that talk of tick people that I love, um, who do really inflammatory stuff, and it's like very like hilarious. And then someone will take offense to like one of their tamer videos, and they're like, "This is the thing that got you, not the
Right.
everything else."
Right. It's so interesting. And I mean, like, there are certain people that I've now started following on the Talk of Tick that are very polarizing, including Tarot Vista,
Mm.
which you had let me know about, um, who's amazing, by the
Yes.
way. But there were definitely some comments or some videos that I didn't agree with, such as being gifted your first tarot deck. Like they said, like, I kind of agree with, like, I could see where it's coming from, and I'm just like, oh, but like,
Yeah.
you know being in retail for a number of years and having to deal with shoplifters,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't like that particular myth of tarot because it's just like you should be gifted your deck or steal it. And it's just like, no.
No.
My favorite new age shop had to get cameras and post signage next to their tarot deck section because that's just what was continuing to
Yeah.
happen. And I think their sign said something like stealing is bad for your karma. And I'm just like, yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
It's just like, don't come into this warm and fuzzy energetic space and then steal your first deck and expect it to work well for you.
Yeah,
It's
like
just like
it's
maybe it will, but
I discussed that in my last newsletter where I talk about how I'm fast and loose with the rules and I'm just such a rebel and fabulous. Like I I discussed like there's a lot of myths about that and it's like, dude, don't steal from witches. When has that ever gone well? Ever. Like let's think about folklore, dude. When has stealing from the witch in the woods ever gone well? And I worked at a metaphysical shop during the oh my god, the psychic craze of 2020 where we had lines down the block and had like
mhm.
we had to assign someone to be the bouncer for the metaphysical shop and we had so many theft issues because there was just so many people coming in and out and it's like y'all it's first of all a Rider-Waite Smith deck is not that expensive. Second of all, it's just bad. Like, this is a psychic tool that you're going to be using to enrich your life and hopefully help you and help others. Why would you start the life of that tool with something like theft? It just kind of sours it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
I just don't understand the disconnect there. And the other thing too is if it's a matter of access, there are plenty of Facebook groups online where people who have huge collections, my coven sister Danielle is one of those. And every once in a while in those groups, she'll say, oh, for people who can't afford to buy their first deck, or they live in a home where they feel like they can't purchase a deck on the internet and they can't have that invoice show up, she will send them a deck in a what's it called?
Plain,
A
plain,
plain,
unmarked.
inconspicuous, yeah. Or for people who want to get into it or struggling and looking to get into tarot but can't afford the first deck or book, she'll send it to them. And there's plenty of other people out there who are trying to make steps to make tarot accessible.
Right. Right. And I mean, there are plenty of people out there that also do free readings or free reading exchanges too. And that's another thing that has really bothered me because I used to do on the live stream or whenever I was able to, I would do live readings and I would call it 10 at 10. So I would do 10 one card readings or for an hour. So it was like 10 one card readings at 10 p.m. or whatever. And people got so nasty about it that it just like it ended up ruining it for everyone. And it's just like I don't really do that anymore. Because of that. Yes. Yeah, we're wrapping up, Jenny. So nice to see you. Let me show that. Yep. Um, but they ended up ruining it because they were just so demanding and I was just like, listen, this is free and it's my choosing. This is not a democracy. This is my choosing. And if you want a free reading, there are places where you can go to exchange readings or get a free reading, but don't harass a professional reader whose job it is literally to do this for a living. And I always give those resources. And that's actually the origin of Madam, I Implore You, if you're a card slingers listener, where Jamie and Melissa will say to me, Madam, I implore you, Madam, because someone actually kept on harassing me in direct messages, like begging me for free reading. And I was just like, you can feel free to book a reading with me on my website. Here it is. It's very straightforward. And just let me know if you have any problems in my booking software. But they just kept on going. And I'm just like, I gave you the free reading resource. You know, I gave you this. And it's just like, but I'm not giving you a free reading. Madam, I implore you. And it's just like, you know, no matter what you do, some people will never be satisfied.
Yeah.
So
your time has value. Your expertise has value.
Right. So we like took a hard left turn.
Yeah,
into
we
that,
did.
but
I
that's
don't
cool.
know how we got here. I don't know how we got here.
Controversial tarot opinions.
Yep. That's how.
That's how. But thank you so much for everyone for listening, and we'll do the weekend forecast, but I'll let Sophia go so she can participate in the weekend forecast and listen and absorb and everything. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. And look out for, so I think we're starting that in March. So starting March 1st, we will be doing that deep dive of the Alchemical Tarot by Robert M. Place. If you want to get a copy of that, it's the 6th edition that is available. I will be working with the 4th edition, which is out of print, and Sophia will be working with the 6th edition. And you're more than welcome to join us with that Alchemical Tarot deck, or with your own tarot deck that you want to do a deep dive in. But start looking out for that stuff on March 1st.
And to commemorate it, on February 28th, I will be doing my first live stream in which I will be using the Alchemical Tarot.
Yay!
Following instructions.
So, yeah. So Liz, don't go. Yes, don't go anywhere quite yet, because we still have the weekend forecast to do, and then we will wrap up. But Sophia, thank you so much for jumping in and for moderating as well, wearing those 2 hats simultaneously, because we had a lot of problems at the beginning of the episode there. Not that I want to court disarray there, but I didn't invoke them. They just started coming at me. So anyway, goodbye, Sophia. I'm going to let you go. Bye. Remove source. And that's what happens when you remove the source. Okay, let me put this back up. Where are my stars? Where are my stars and garters? Yeah, I've been playing with the overlays a lot lately. Like here's like the Twitch streamer kind of thing. So we've got that kind of thing going on, but by popular request, I know that Katie likes the stars. I know quite a few people like the stars. So let me scroll and find that one. There we go. All right. So weekend forecast time. Here we go. So once again, if you would like to contribute to the virtual tip jar to keep this live stream going, I would really appreciate it. It's just paypal.me/tarot by Hilary NY. And also I think I have a Venmo account now, so it's like Venmo at Tarot by Hilary NY, I think is my Venmo too. Where are my, I'll find them. Give me a second. Yes. So I have both of them here. Hold, please. Yes. Into the chat that goes. Katie says, it's all the sparkling energy of the stars. Yeah. Yeah, so those are the virtual tip jars there. PayPal.me/Tarot by Hilary NY or Venmo.com/Tarot by Hilary NY. That is me, except no substitutes, because I keep on forgetting to mention the virtual tip jar, but it's there. And if you would like to book a reading with me one-on-one, tarotbyhilary.com is my website, and I have a online scheduler there. So everything is fully automated. So you can go ahead and book your session there. I have email readings, phone, Skype, Zoom, and in person as well. So if you happen to be in my geographic area and you want to book a session, you can do so in person too. So yeah, I think I think that was all that I wanted to say about that. Also, tarot and tapping sessions. So I am also a certified EFT practitioner. There's my certificate right there. So I also offer one-on-one tapping sessions too. And we have on the Tube of You, I think we have three tapping videos on three different subjects. So one of them is for resting your anxious bedtime brain and allowing you to go to sleep. Another is on setting and maintaining boundaries. And then the third one I recorded on the fly about, I think, a week and a half ago. And that is on feeling the fear and doing the thing anyway. I am trying to work on doing a basic introductory video on what is tapping. So I have the script all written and set up, but I just need to record that. And I might record it live, or I might not, or I just have to pretend to record it live because for some reason I'm just so much more comfortable doing a live stream and interacting live with people rather than doing pre-recorded. I don't know why. It just feels really, really strange. So I'm just going to have to pretend, I guess, when I'm doing that pre-recording, that I have people on the other hand that I'm speaking to, because, in actual fact, that is going to be the case. So anyway, weekend forecast. Let's go with I have like none of my decks in range. Hold, please. Actually, I can show you something really quickly. You want to see something fun? While I go and grab that, because this is something that I just created today. I love my little gadgets and tools. I can't help it. Let's see if I can find it here. No, it's not that one. It's this one. Let me show you. All right, I'm going to go. Let me see if I know exactly where it is. Oh boy. All right, I know exactly what deck we're going to use for the weekend forecast, and it's one that I haven't used in a long time, so I hope, get excited. All right, hold please. Did you like it? Did you like it? Please tell me you liked it. Okay, so this is going to be what we're pulling from for the weekend forecast, which is the Archetypes deck, Wild Unknown Archetypes deck by Kim Krans. Considering we were talking before a little bit about the Wild Unknown, I was just like, let me look across the room and see which Oracle deck I have readily available, and that's where my eye lighted on first. So, and we haven't used it in quite a while. In fact, I don't know if we've ever used this for the weekend forecast. Okay. It's a beautiful deck. And it's got like the slip cover and this magnetic closure, and it is a circular deck. It's a round deck. Has this gorgeous book. And, it is 78 cards, but it is an Archetypes deck. I think it was marketed as a tarot deck, but just because it has 78 cards doesn't mean that it's a tarot deck, because there's no Fool card in here. There's no Devil card. There's no World card. There's no Three of Swords card. It's all archetypes, and it's just 78 archetypes. So please tell me that you liked my little be right back video. Please. So here's the archetypes box, and here is the back. So it can be a little bit difficult sometimes to shuffle because it's circular, but it's a great deck. It's a really great deck. Yay! Fran says she loved it. Okay. Again, I'm pretty nerdy about that kind of thing, but I was just like, oh, look at this. This is cute. And this is cute. I also made a starting soon video. I do like my static starting soon kind of thing, but I was thinking of maybe changing it up. So good. And Liz loved it too. I'm sure everybody loved it, but I just needed that external validation at that particular moment. All right. So weekend forecast. How do you shuffle round decks? Pretty much in the same way that I shuffle regular decks. However, this is a little bit big and it can be a little bit cumbersome to shuffle, but I shuffle it in the same way that I shuffle regular sized or regularly shaped tarot decks, which is I still use the overhand. So I shuffle with my right hand and I catch with my left hand, my thumb, like I kind of make it into this shape, this like claw shape, so that I can catch the cards. See? But I'm not going to lie, it is difficult to shuffle this deck. So what do we need to know for this weekend? Pulling from the top. I don't want that one. All right, this one I'll go with this one. So we are getting the vow. So notice that is not a tarot card. So the vow card, I really love Kim Kranz's guidebook for this because it goes into the archetype, but then it also encourages you to do your own research on the archetype and how it shows up in your world. So the vow card is number, I think that's, what's L? The vow, and it's different, by the way. There are different I guess suits in this deck. There's the selves, the places, the tools, and the initiations. So the vow is under the tools, and it's number 54. So I think it's on page 173. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and hold up the card while I talk about it, but it's got the different imagery on there. It looks like a dove. The circles almost look like moons or something. And then it looks like hands clasping, and looks like a diamond at the base of the arm in there. So the vow, the promise, the oath, the contract. When the vow is spoken, the air shifts, karmic ties are formed, and destiny tilts on its axis. Our words and intentions have immense power. There is a reason the great mythic stories of our past often include the recitation of oaths and the mixing of drops of blood as a mark of union. The tricky part is that reciting the vow, no matter how casually, activates the eternal and unseen forces of the world. The ancestors bear witness. The laws of nature respond. These promises cannot be unsaid or forgotten, so breaking them can leave lingering complexities and loose ends. This card calls us to acknowledge the vow we are living by, consciously or unconsciously, and either recommit to it or create a ritual that signifies its closure. You've been underestimating the power of your promises. So remember, this is the weekend forecast. So whatever you promise this weekend, it's not a promise, it's a vow, it's an oath, it's a contract. Okay. When light, bearing witness to the shift toward destiny. When dark, unconscious vows, unkept promises, or messy karma. And to go deeper, learn the yamas, the 5 vows of the seeker. Now, there's a couple of things that, so this is all like written in here, and so like that's like the main text, and then on the sides, vertically, they have like more text. So anytime the energy of the vow is present, we are in the archetypal realm of ceremony and ritual. That means time stands still and anything is possible. So, like, the way you think about the vow can either be an obligation or freedom. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Think of the last promise you made. Was it to yourself or another? Has it been upheld or broken? I love the part about like the air shifts, karmic ties are formed, destiny tilts on its axis on its axis. The laws of nature respond. These promises cannot be unsaid or forgotten. I love that. So like to have this as the weekend forecast is like basically almost saying that anything that you promise this weekend, like you have to remember what a promise is. You have to remember what an oath is, you know, and there sometimes this card has come up for clients and I've just been like, I basically say to them, if it isn't a hell yes, it's a hell no. Like, and I was actually just saying this to my sister today, because I had been asked to like go to an event, I think not next week, but maybe the week after. And all I said, and this is also something that I said to her, I'm just like, you know, lately when people have been inviting me places, I haven't immediately said yes to anything. I've just said, that sounds interesting. Let me check my schedule. So allow yourself the time to really consider the things that are being offered to you or the invitations that are being offered to you before you accept. Does that make sense to everybody? Because everyone's gone very quiet in the chat. Like very, very quiet. So let me know if that makes sense to you, or let me know if that makes sense to you after this weekend. I mean, we're going to do this again next Friday, same bat time, same bat channel, Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Fran's saying yes. But yeah, I kind of want to know, like, this is going to be, let's check in with each other next week and then be like, how did that work out? You know? Sophia says yes. Yeah, Fran says your word is your bond. Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But it's almost like it's more than that. Too. So just be very careful. Anything that you agree to this weekend, just like remember the words of the weirdo that you watch their live stream every Friday night. All right, I think we're done. I think we've had a very good episode. Once again, thank you to Sophia Benevolent Corvus for joining me to talk a little bit about the deep dive and what we have for like upcoming you know, deep deck dives. Deck. I said deck. So we're working with the Alchemical Tarot first by Robert M. Place. And I hope you join us in doing so. Yes. Katie says, I'll see how that works out. The vow seems very intense. Contract hold. Yes. Let me know how it goes. So once again, Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do this. And I am Hilary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Have a wonderful weekend. Remember your promises. And we'll do this again next Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.